Hello there, I'm Sean Greasley and welcome to another edition of Visual Basic Tutorials. In this tutorial I'm going to look at file output within Visual Basic. Now let's have a look what we can do with this example. Let's create a text box, set multi-line to true so we can type over many lines, for example. Set the text to nothing and say hello world, this is my first attempt to write to a text file. And goodbye. So we've got 3 lines in our multi-line text box here. Now let's create a few buttons, say a save command button here, and say save. Simple enough. Now we can rename it saying text editor. So we're making a text editor. That's a fine example. Like all text editors, it's got a pane to write what you want to type here. Then you got a save button, usually in the file menu, but for ease we've got a save button there. Now, how do we click this button and write something to the file? Well, if we want to save something to a file, we can make use of the common dialog control. Why not? So let's rename this. Right. Now, when we want to click the save button, we want to write the contents of txt to a file of the user's choice. So, double clicking save, we can say comdlg32 show save in our show section. This is what we want to display to the user. We want to display the show save form. When the user clicks whichever directory he or she wants to save this text into, we need a variable, for example, to store this. So let's dim file location as a string. So this variable here is going to hold the location of the file. Okay, so file location equals comdlg32 dot file, say name. That's the name of the file, or say file path really. Say file title, file name, that should do. So that should display the whole of our file path. So let's have a look how we're doing this. So if we press save, enter file.txt, press save, and this is where it's storing our file. So the file name attribute returns the file path and the name in which you save it as. So let's store this in file location. Now we want to write the contents of txt.text into the location specified here. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, firstly we type open. The next parameter within our string is the file location. Then the keyword for, the type of output, which I'll discuss in a second, as anything you want here. Say a variable, we'll say 1. Now let's look at this a little closely. To output something to a file, we use the keyword open. This opens a new instance of our file we want to create. In this instance, the file location and file name is stored in the variable file location. The next parameter here is for. For doesn't change, it's static. The next word is output. We could say we want to input a file, in which we'll use the keyword input, or append in which we'll use the word append. I'll discuss the difference between output and append later, but input is clearly self-explanatory. The next keyword is as. This associates a variable with this. So we've chosen to use the variable hash1. Variables have to be prefixed with the hash, but anything after the hash you can put anything you want. We'll just say 1. So when we come to print things into our file, we can use our variable here. So what we're doing, we're opening this location for output as 1. We're printing this the contents of the text box into the file location, then we're closing the file for convenience. So let's play this. There's our text here. Save, say the C drive, and we want to say test.txt. Save, and let's open up Windows Explorer. Let's open our test.txt file, and as you can see, hello world, this is my first attempt to write to a txt file, goodbye. So it's outputting. Now the file already exists, as you can see, text. What happens if we press save again? It's done something, let's open it. Oh, sorry, I've called it 2 different things. Save it again. Okay, I've called it test. And all it's done now, it's overwrit what was there before. But what if you want to save it and add it to the end of the file? Here, for example. Well, this is where the keyword append is used. If we put append in here, this will update the file, it won't overwrite it. So if we say save, let's overwrite text.txt. Let's delete that one, it's just confusing. Let's overwrite text.txt, save. Then we'll say from SeanGreasley.com. Save again. Save. Let's open this up. We've outputted that twice, and we've added our little from SeanGreasley.com at the end. So that's how to output anything from Visual Basic into a text file. In the next tutorial we're going to look at file input, and that will give you a rounded knowledge of file associations within Visual Basic. So I'm Sean Greasley, thank you for listening, and good night.